So how just do we deal with a mentally deficient subject during interview and interrogation? Welcome to tip number 37. Let's find out. Hey, Stan Walters here. Welcome back for tip number 37. We're talking about dealing with a mentally deficient subject during interview and interrogation. And in particular, I want to pay particular attention to some of the limitations of the behavior of the subject and the problems that can occur by tactics used by the interviewer. So first of all, let's look at the clinical thing. Now, understand I'm not a clinical psychologist or anything like that. My area is deviant social behavior. But you have to have enough of a working knowledge to understand if you possibly have this subject in your interview environment. So some things, first of all, to check out. Understand that clinically it's listed as mentally deficient, or it's called intellectual development disorder. That's the current correct term for it. Is anyone who's hitting an IQ of 70 and below. Now, that doesn't mean it's 72 or 74 or 75 that they don't exhibit any symptoms at all. But you're in that soft zone, if you will, or that there is some fluctuation in that area. When you start getting below 50, you can start getting into more moderate to lower to severe mental deficiency or developmental disorder. First of all, intellectually developmental subjects have a problem with their social skills. They don't interact quite as effectively, as efficiently as a well-balanced or an advanced or a normal development individual might be as an adult. Their skills tend to begin to regress at a certain period. They don't develop as well. So in a situation when somebody's an authority figure, they may not relate well. They may see that person as almost as a parental figure, and it's inappropriate to question that appropriately question that adult figure, or to disagree, or to go against the wishes or the commands or the instructions. So the power of the authority of the individual had a lot to do with the person being very compliant. And this is why this group is among those folks at the very top, most frequently involved in wrongful conviction or false confession cases because of these inabilities that limit their interaction. They have trouble with memory skills. Now, we know as interviewers that's a critical piece of the puzzle we'll use in interviewing not only suspects, but victims and witnesses. Being able to use their memories to recall information and to give you specific data. It's very easy to get involved in retrograde memory to contaminate the memories of somebody who has a developmental disorder. Their language skills are also limited. So in some situations, the language or complex sentence structures that we might use, or if we're using too much of a bureaucratic or industry-specific terms, if you will, they will not understand. But they will answer what they think you want to know, what you want to hear. At the same time, their limited language skills prevent them from adequately describing what they know, what they understand, or their emotions, if you will. They have difficulty in adaptive skills. So they'll be in a situation that they're not used to, and they don't know how to appropriately exit that situation or appropriately handle a new situation. Especially if something they've not dealt with before, if it's out of their norm or out of their experience or their routine, if you will. Because routine is a friend to some of these folks. And so anything that breaks their routine is difficult. So once they find themselves in the difficult situation of an interview, whether they're the suspect or not, at times they'll be compliant just to get through the issue, just to get through the interview, just to get out of this uncomfortable situation that they're having difficulty dealing with. Okay, their mental activities, their problem-solving skills, sometimes the solutions that they suggest to a way to solve the problem or to clarify why you're wrong or why you have misinterpreted something, they fall very short in being able to explain that or to accomplish that. For example, some things that we've done to solve problems or to solve puzzles or to solve dilemma, we've gotten used to and can do it over and over again and are able to do it on the fly, to be very creative. And these folks, intellectually developmental challenged folks, will not be able to do that. So they're a great risk of their statements being contaminated. So their social skills, their adaptive skills, their memory skills, language skills. They will also have sometimes say and do things that are socially inappropriate because they're not sensitive to the environmental situation or to the social situation they're in. And they don't recognize that some of the things they say or do can be damaging to their freedoms and damaging to their appearance of guilt. So we need to take a look at these folks, and if you're getting information from either school officials or from family or from counselors or past experience that this may be the problem, you need to take special care. We also have to go back and look at the method and the philosophy of interviewing. The method that's been used for about 60 years is very, very risky for these folks because it's accusatory style, controlling the conversation, letting the subject explain, not giving the opportunity to articulate their ideas or their innocence, to make them feel the situation is hopeless, and you can see how that compounds the problem. It's critical in narrative interview. Ask them to use language they understand, to let them know that if you don't understand what I'm asking, you can ask me. If you understand a term, it's okay, that there's nothing wrong with that. The sense of futility that they might experience in accusatory style. When do we disclose evidence? Remember we talked about sue. Did you employ sue earlier, a few episodes back? Too much evidence too soon easily contaminates the developmentally challenged individual, and you get an echo effect and you will have contaminated their statement. So let's do what we can to try to recognize that they are at risk, try to protect them. This is a good time that they have an advocate with them, either a social worker, a medical health professional, a clinical social worker, sometimes family member, because they are at risk for contaminated statements and false confessions. Again, please, I really appreciate, if you will, hit the like button down below so we can generate more top of the list for this video series. Subscribe to the YouTube channel here if you just dropped in. I've got a lot more of these that I've already done and more that we got coming. And also see the domain learning systems and text and everything I have available at my website. Again, my goal is for every investigator to become the go-to interviewer and interrogator. Thanks for joining me. See you again next time for tip number 36. Be safe.